What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to show you the new tires. The scooter is back from the shop. It took about a day to do that because I guess they were a little backed up, but we got the new tires. We're also going to test some new paint that we got for the scooter on one of the older panels that we already had, just to make sure that it comes out right before we use the panels that we're going to put on the scooter. And we might change the front brake line as well, because the one that it has on there is actually seized and it doesn't work anymore. We actually have it detached, so it's only working on back brakes right now.
What we're going to do for the coloring part, or sampling it, we're going to take one of the old parts, sand one of the edges, kind of do like a primer and stuff, and then color it to kind of see how it would look, a finishing look, before we put it on the parts that we bought. So that's how we're going to test the colors today.
The scooter was originally red, as you guys can see from the panel that she's holding. We're thinking about changing the color over to blue. We're going to test how it looks and I guess make our final decision after that if we're going to actually stick with a blue or maybe go with a darker red. Anyways, let's get into it. So as you guys can tell, we got these new tires on the scooter. Now we are going to have to go back to the shop because this back tire lost some air. I'm not sure if it has a puncture in it or if the rim might have something or whatever. But yeah, it lost air, this back one. The front one is fine. Here's the front tire. I don't know if you can really pick that up on camera, but it's fine. It's not flat or anything.
But other than that, they're nice looking tires.
The first thing that we're going to do is this brake line right here. It's actually seized, it won't go in and out, that's why it's detached from the actual brake. So we're gonna fish it out of here and fish it out of the scooter itself, out of the body, and wire a new one in. We got a couple of them and they should work. We see how it's moving like this. The old one that we had in there wasn't moving at all. This wire part was seized inside of the rubber. See, this is our old one and there is no movement whatsoever in there. That means that it was seized up as opposed to this one where it moves nice and easy. So hopefully this one will do the trick for us. Okay, so as you guys saw, we were able to replace that front brake line. It was pretty successful. We thought it was a little short in the beginning, but it turned out to be the right measurement. And
The dang dog.
But moving on, now what we're gonna do is we have this little fuse. So back in the day when we were working on this one a little bit, one of the fuses next to the battery blew, and I couldn't find any of them locally. So we made shift a little, like, I don't know, rig with a glass fuse. But now I did find these online. It's a little metal fuse and we're gonna install that one right now. So as you guys can see, this is where the fuse would regularly go, and we had to rig this little thing that loops around. And there's actually a glass fuse in here, but we're gonna replace that with the original equipment, which is this little metal fuse right here. I don't know if you guys can tell, but when you see it up there in the muffler area, there's this like crud in there, and we think it's the remainder of what used to be a gasket. So I'm gonna try and clean it off so we can maybe put in the new muffler as well. And also, while I have you guys here, we did go back to the shop that did the tires for us, and they said that oftentimes what can happen is that the valve stem inside of the valve cover, this valve, can actually stick, and that's why it loses air. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fiddle with it, put it, fill it back up with air, fiddle with it, and if that's the case, then I guess we're just gonna have to get a new valve stem. So yeah, as we thought, it was just an old gasket. You can see it's seen better days. Okay, since we're still having some tire issues in the rear with it not holding a lot of air, what we're gonna do is instead of putting the muffler on, we're actually gonna figure out if the valve stem is bad and go from there. After we figure that out, we'll put the muffler on. Also, what we're gonna start doing is the sample paint on the older panel to see if it'll actually be the color that we want and if it comes out all right. So let's do it. We're actually going to call it for today because it is getting late on us. Tomorrow we're going to go to the auto parts store, get some clear coat. I'm not sure if we're going to use it on this test sample. I think this was just to more or less see how the color would look like on the actual piece, and I think we're satisfied with it. So yeah, we're going to go to the auto parts store tomorrow, get some clear coat, and we'll see you guys then. So it's the next day here, and as you guys can see, this paint dried. We were kind of worried that it wasn't going to stick, but it seems like it's stuck on just fine. Like I said, it is our first time painting. But now what we're going to do is we're going to apply some clear coat and see how that looks. As you guys can see, the color difference between the red and the blue, obviously the blue looks a lot better and it has little metallic flakes in it. So I think it's going to be a nice change for the scooter when it's all said and done. I think that's actually going to be where I'm going to end the video. We did pump that tire up and it is holding air for now, so it's just a matter of just keeping an eye on it. We're going to come back tomorrow, see if it's still holding air. If it's not, we can just grab some soap and water and rub it around the bead of the rim as well as the valve stem and see where the air is coming out of, and then go from there with the solution. With all that being said, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, consider dropping a like on the video. It helps out. If you like the rest of what's on this channel, consider subscribing. I'll leave Victoria's info in the description below, as I always do, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!